a guy lying in bed, a Catholic Celtic fan and that, right? He's lying in bed, he's total died, last legs and that, right? They're like, oh, his family around and that, it's like, any last requests? Obviously what's happening, the guy's like, aye, I want to become a proddy. And they're like that, a thing like that. What? Excuse me? What? They're like, honestly, oh no, that's really what I want to do. So they get a minister in, the minister comes in, converts him to a Protestant, a Rangers fan and that, and the thing like that. Dad, why would you want to do that? Because see if I die, that's one less proddy bastard to worry about, eh?
The sectarian divide that splits Rangers and Celtic has its roots in things that happened across the Irish Sea centuries ago. Today, the hatred is just as strong and continues to split the city in two.
I definitely think people do see themselves in a context of Old Firm as either green or blue, Catholic, Protestant, British or Irish.
I think at the end of the day, though, there is a sort of mutual respect for each other's fans.
So what do you think of Rangers fans?
Scumbags.
Celtic fans, I think they're crass, disrespectful, and definitely Irish.
Rangers fans are they don't know who they are. They get brought up to hate.
The kind of lunacy that you get with Celtic, why you would seek out, the company of people who are mentally disturbed, has always been a bit of a mystery to me.
If the cliches about Celtic fans are true, they're all Pope-obsessed IRA gun runners. And if you're a Rangers fan, you're probably a right-wing Protestant who only smiles when you think of the Queen.
We have Celtic superfan Mark Solomon. Hi Mark, can you explain why you follow Celtic?
Oh, Celtic is my life, man. That's my love. I love the Celtic. Since I was 2, I lived in Ireland, then I moved to Glasgow, and now I watch every single match of the Celtic.
Does your religion play a part of this following of the Celtics?
Of course! I'm Irish Catholic. That's the best thing. All Irish Catholics are Celtics.
What do you think about the Rangers?
Oh, Rangers are so bad. I can step on them with my shoe and beat them up.
Why aren't you wearing actual pants? Why are you wearing a green shirt?
Oh, I lost my pants, so I ran out of shorts, and I only wear green and white. That's the only 2 colors I believe in. These are the Celtic colors.
Alright, thank you Mark.
Thank you so much.
We're here with Rangers supporter Kobe Dykeman. So, why do you support Rangers, Kobe?
As you can see, I'm on all blue. All my life I've been raised in a family, everyone's affiliated with the Rangers. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, all my schoolmates. I don't know anyone that's involved with the Celtics. They don't really deserve to be a club in my opinion. But yeah, just my whole life I've been surrounded by the club.
Why do you hate the Celtics? What do they do to you?
Well, for one, I'm an English Protestant, and I feel that they threaten, or their supporters, which are Irish Catholics, threaten the unity of the United Kingdom. And I feel that our team, the Rangers, represent the unity of the whole UK, as well as the Protestant unity between my family and those in England.
Do you think all Celtics supporters are bad?
Yes, every single one of them.
It's about their culture. I mean, if you look at the links between Scotland and Ireland, we've had, over the last 200-300 years, we've probably had about 1 million people immigrating to Scotland from Ireland and vice versa. So you do have this culture. My view would be that a lot of the media and a lot of the political class, they only want to concentrate on what they would perceive as violence and bigotry. They don't actually want to look at the positive aspects of that, or in fact the historical reality.
What do you think of this phrase, 90-minute bigot?
I think it fairly well sums up what happens at Old Firm games. This is the release valve for mainly working class people at the end of the week, because they go to the football, they can say what they want, do what they want, have a drink, have a laugh, be loud and boorish in a way that they aren't during the rest of the week.
It is a kind of religion to folk. It is, because you turn out every week. Glasgow's got a strong Irish community, but we couldn't express yourself in the community. There's no St Patrick's Day parades or celebrations. A woman once said to me, and she goes, "Are you one of those Fenians?" And I was actually taken aback. She labelled me a Fenian, and that basically...
Was it a girl that you were trying to crack onto, or an old woman in the shops? Or...
it was an older woman. Yeah. I was still trying to crack her as well. Yeah. That label was right away was, I'm a Celtic fan, I'm a Catholic, I'm an Irish Republican. Now, these are all the labels that are tied in with that. Yeah. And I might not have been any of them other than a Celtic fan.
Do you have friends that are Rangers fans?
Acquaintances.
I have acquaintances that would be nominal Celtic fans, but general delusions about persecution, about being a member of the IRA, about claiming that your grandfather fought in the General Post Office against the British, that your granny was raped by the Black and Tans. I mean, this is not really the type of people that you want to associate with.
We saw a sticker up at Ibrox, just had a picture of the Union Jack and said "Love it or leave it."
Yeah, well, we're told to go back. Their famous shout is "the famine's over, why don't you go home?" I'm Scottish, I live here, I like this country.
I'd made an appointment to see Nil by Mouth, a charity based in Glasgow that wants to eradicate sectarianism from Scottish life. It was set up after a 15-year-old Celtic fan died after having his throat cut on the way home from a match.
I came to university in Scotland in 1999 and I went to watch an Old Firm football game in the Student Union's bar, and I heard this shocking taunt, which was 6 million Jews and it should have been Protestants. How many layers of ignorance do you have to get through to come out with that type of stuff? People have often put to me the idea that in Scotland we have 90-minute bigots. Yeah. Now, that kind of idea, for 90 minutes we go, we watch football, we taunt the other sides, we use these kind of words, and then we go back to our kind of life. Now I'll put it to you in this kind of context. If I use the term nigger to you, you'd find that quite offensive, and quite rightly, because it's a disgusting term. Does that make you a 90-minute racist? Does it really? We all have to have laws, and we have to have kind of boundaries as what is acceptable behaviour and what is not. And if you don't have that, then it's a bit of a free-for-all. People can do what they want as and when they want.
Sandy was one of the stars of the Scottish football violence scene of the 80s and 90s. He led Rangers' terrifying inter-city firm into battle many times. As far as we know, Sandy isn't a hooligan anymore. Instead, he spends his time here, training kids at this school in Glasgow's East End.
Come on, Mohan, wrap your feet round it, come on! I started playing about 8-year-old, then was picked up with Rangers at under 14 level, spent 2 years there. Unfortunately, wasn't good enough to make the grade. Other things in my life at the time as well, the casual scene.
Yeah.
I was finding it was a lot better football casual than what I was a football player.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a sidetrack.
Do you regret that at all?
No, I liked, see, to be honest, I loved the scene. It. Boys from Yeovil to Inverness were involved in fighting each other, fighting the law. To be part of that, looking back, although I wouldn't say it makes me proud. I'm sort of glad that I was involved in it.
I mean, was football violence an addiction for you, do you think?
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, no matter how hard I tried to walk away, I always seem to get dragged back in. A lot of people like the camaraderie. I like the violence, I'll be honest. I'm not going to beat about the bush, I like the violence.
So what for you is the biggest misconception that people have about the Glasgow football rivalry?
I think the biggest misconception is that it is primarily a religious aspect. In my own personal opinion, I believe it's now turning into a national identity.
Okay.
It's Scottish, British, or you're Irish.
I've took a lot of people to the hospital after the Rangers Celtic game, after the derbies. It's a pretty bad sight, Yeah. Mostly slashings, bottles, knives, mostly. The last Rangers game, I picked up 2 fellas in the town and they were telling us they were up with their kids, and 2 Celtic fans that attacked the father in front of the kid. That was the last Rangers Celtic game. So there you go. Only because they're English.
Look at these angry scenes on the terraces. This is the end of a stirring cup final, but now it has cascaded into violence, the kind of violence we didn't think would happen and didn't want to happen. Here comes another charge by the Rangers fans. Wow, this is one of the worst scenes of violence we've seen here at Hampden Park. Bottles, cans and missiles being thrown, and it's a pitched battle out there. Police in the middle of it are nearly powerless to try and prevent this happening.
Bet you 10 quid you can't hit that Celtic scum. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.